Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be looking at the WrestleMania Fallout Week 3 prize wall, both the regular and the discounted. So let's just start with the regular. Sammy out of the Bloodline moment, it's honestly mostly for Solo and mostly only if you have an OG drip plate. So not real huge on that. WrestleMania 38 moment is really good for Striker Seth and Powerhouse Kevin Owens, but it hasn't exactly been super hard to get. This is a showdown one. I don't put a lot of value on this. And SummerSlam moment's okay, but it's not like necessarily great. It's probably, you could argue maybe Braun Breaker is who it's the best for. We'll go ahead and look at those moments real quick so you guys have kind of an idea of what they do. I'll actually talk about how I plan on spending my Prizewall currency with where I'm at as well, which might be different than what I suggest, right? So the first one, SummerSlam, I don't have this one. You can see when it's maxed out, 50% damage from all color gems. That's pretty decent. I mean, obviously for everybody. Purple gems do 50% more damage. It's really only going to be a big deal for Solo if you run his Pyro set, and then Braun Breaker. Snowfall gems do 125% more damage. Sure, it helps Sammy. He's still not good. Trap gems, sure, it helps Bailey. Still not good. Column break gems, I guess, can help Naya if you do that build. I prefer her other build. So, and then potentially Gunther as well. Like I said, it's not, and then the Snowfall gems help Cody a little bit on all of his Snowfall gems. So it's not the most amazing moment, but it's also not terrible. Right, so there's that one, and then the other one we talked about. What do we have? I don't think it was any of those. There is the WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. The Return of the American Nightmare, like I said, mostly for Seth, also Becky, actually, because your multiply gems are increased by 6. That's what helps those two quite a bit. I mean, Striker Bianca, I don't think is relevant. I probably need to replay her with all the new plates and stuff, but I'm not sure there. And the big thing for KO is the 3 extra trap gems. It actually makes a big difference for KO. So, like this moment, if you don't have it, and like you're a big KO enjoyer, and he's like your best powerhouse, and if for some reason you're really hurting at Striker, or you like love ETV's gameplay is actually really good. It's a bit clicky, but he's really good, and can do a lot of damage with all this stuff, right? So I think this one is mostly just for those ones. And then the other ones, I don't, if I have it, I didn't even bother leveling it. It's just a showdown moment. I don't value those, so personally wouldn't grab that. So that's kind of the moments there in that one. I do think that, oh, we didn't look at Out of the Bloodline. I need to do that. Let me go back in there for you guys. Out of the Bloodline, it's decent on Powerhouse Sammy. It's decent on Jay, but neither of those are probably going to carry your roster. Jay, obviously, multiply gems increase their strength by 4. Sammy, that is also that. And then all color moves that destroy gems destroy 6 more, helps Sammy. Solo gets the 100% purple gem damage. That's kind of a big deal. And then Juggernauts do 100% more damage, so that's kind of what helps Solo. But again, it's not really the biggest deal. This used to affect the drip plate. It doesn't anymore. So if you like Solo, sure, I guess go for it. But yeah, I don't think it's worth the cost compared to other stuff you could get, in my opinion, right? So that kind of covers those moments in that one. The Lion's Gaze, this is an MP drain, so like if you don't have a lot of crazy stuff where you can turn one a ton of opponents, stuff like this is very useful. It's also very, very expensive. So at 18k, it's the most expensive thing on there, so I would keep that in mind. It's more of a defensive item or winning when you shouldn't. So I don't necessarily value it very high, but it can be fun to have and use. I do sometimes enjoy doing silly stuff with MP drain things, so keep that in mind. Chemical X, I think, is extremely awesome plate on Zombie Punk and Striker Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day one, the new one. Those two places, I think this is an exceptional plate on. Can you put it other places? Sure. But those are the two that, in my opinion, are really worth talking about. It's quite good there. Devil's Drip, as you guys know, there's a ton of places you can use this. But if you had a Devil's Drip and you didn't have a Chemical X, I'd absolutely grab the Chemical X. Queen's Tiara is a fine plate, but it's been around a lot, so I don't really love the pricing. If you don't have one and you don't get to like 12K, I get snagging it though, right? It makes sense to me to do that if you like can't potentially get there. But the Total Silence one is one that potentially could be very strong. It's not really great on anyone in my opinion right now. This is more one, and I don't have one, I want to get, keep, and stash, because eventually they're going to make somebody with this plate in mind. You know, they're gonna throw some silence gems out, and then they're gonna buff their move or their gem damage, and then they're gonna hit a finisher that like covers the whole board. Doesn't convert silence gems, but covers the whole board. And then a plate like this would be amazing. So this is kind of a get and stash. If you don't have one though, I would suggest getting one for the just in case. And then obviously, like I said, back to the Devil's Drip, people like NWO Macho. If you like Striker, Kevin Nash, mostly you're comboing it with the Yeet plate though. I will say without a Yeet plate, probably the two best places are JD McDonough, who can hit pretty hard without a Yeet plate in this, and NWO Macho. I think those are probably your two best places without a Yeet plate for the JD Drip. So there's that. Neckbreaker, whatever. You know, if you want one, you can go for it. Anyone that breaks green gems, and then can chuck blues, so you look for people with a blue gem percentage increase, that kind of thing on that. It can potentially be okay, but you know, I wouldn't like super concern yourself with the straps. So Charlotte and Regal Showboat is probably the big one for most people. Reality, but if I'm not mistaken, Reality is also Trickster, Bubba Ray, and Acro Devon. So if you don't have gem damage straps for those people, you might look in those, because these can be hard eras. So like another grab and stash potentially, or if you are using somebody in Reality era who you like, double check and grab those straps. It's 100% guaranteed, but it can be move or gem. So there's no guarantee like it's gonna end up what you want. It can be anywhere from 100 to 150, but it can be gem or move, gem or move, gem or move. So keep that in mind. And then there's also the legend ones, right? So like if you're hunting for a strap for Mae Young or Muda, or you know, that kind of stuff, or Hogan, this is your time to grab those. As always, like the economy, I'm not a big fan of. If you were going to get one and you wanted medals, okay, that one kind of makes sense, but there's also the prop packs of versus tokens if you care about those. But to me, this stuff is what you use with stuff left over, right? So again, I would probably rate the best thing by value as the Chemical X if you can get one. I really like it. I think it's really good, but Devil's Drip is super useful in a lot of places too. So hopefully that helps with this part. Now you can check out the discount on the week 3 prize wall. Tiffy Time Moment is an addition here that's not on the other wall, and we'll talk about that moment. Blasting Off is an addition that's not on the other wall, and the Yeet Plate, of course, is an addition that's not on the other wall. I believe those are the big ones, and everything else I believe is the same. So really, the only things to discuss on this one are Blasting Off, Yeet Plate, and Tiffy Time Moment, right? Yes, so Blasting Off, it pretty much sucks. Titan Plate is better on literally everybody, basically. The one exception is Powerhouse Cody. It's a little bit better than a Titan on Powerhouse Cody, alive Cody, not zombie Cody. So I really don't like this for 12K right now. That's not to say they won't do something like I said with the Silence Plate earlier. So, you know, if you have enough Yeet Plates, if you don't want a Lion's Gaze, if you have enough Chemical X's, Devil's Drips, then maybe you could go this route, but Yeet Plate is way, way better. So I think if you don't have any Yeet Plates, or maybe you only have one, you got to get this with your discount prize wall, probably, you know? And then hopefully you have enough to also snag, like, you know, one other other nice plate for you to go with it. So there's that. As far as the Tiffy time moment goes, I don't have that one unlocked yet either. Let's kind of scroll down here and check that one out. 50% less damage from all color gems. Of course, Tiffany has a lot of moments. You start stacking those. I think Drew has 2 moments with it, but Drew is not really the striker you should be using. But if you're a Mark, you know, keep that in mind. Pyro and blue gems potentially can help Showboat LA Knight, but he's completely outclassed at Showboat. Mellow can be fairly decent, actually, with some gem damage builds. Moment does help it a little bit. But, you know, I don't really think it's a route I would go. It does help EO too. She starts to get a decent amount of moments, but again, Lady Acro is completely stacked. So basically, long story short, this moment is not worth the cost, in my opinion, right? Like, if you really want it, okay. I mean, technically, it can help Naomi's botch build quite a bit. It's probably best for Naomi and best for Tiffany. But I really don't even kind of think it's worth the cost. When you look at the store here, and the fact that, so the moment only benefits the 1 or 2 people on the moment you're going to use it for. Plates are going to last you forever, and you'll be able to move them around. And at 14,000, I just don't like the cost. So unless you don't need any of the other plates and you already have them, like, then I just think that's not really worth the cost. That's just my opinion, of course. Again, blasting off, not that great anyone, and all the other plates stuff still applies. I do think the Yeet plate is the best plate on here. And I think Chemical X, I do really like it at this price point as well. And then the straps are just continue to be lower price. So now let's talk about me and what I'm planning on doing. I don't have the Tiffy time moment. I don't have the SummerSlam moment. I have 1 Lion's Gaze. I have 3 Yeet plates. I have 1 blasting off, 2 Chemical X, 2 drips, a lot of tiaras, and no total silence. And then I have super crappy Showboat reality straps. I think 50% is my best for Regal or Charlotte. So that's one that I want to get a nice little bonus to. I won't be taking any econ. So right now, roughly what I'm planning is I am going to take a 3rd Devil's Drip, I think, because I have 2 Chemical X's. So 3 Devil's Drips to match my 3 Yeet plates. A total silence because I don't have one. That puts me at 9,750. SummerSlam moment because, you know, it's reasonably priced. And I think maybe, although a 3rd Chemical X is tempting, but I think I'll take the SummerSlam moment at this point. So that puts me at like, what, 13,750, and then with what I have just enough to try 1 strap at Showboat for Charlotte and Regal, even though I don't use Regal, but it's just a strap I'd like filled. And that basically is all my currency. I won't spend it for 4 more days until the end in case I get more currency, and I could change my mind because I also am really kicking around the idea of, if I had enough, I would actually love to get Yeet, Drip, and Total Silence. And then I would consider that quite a bit. And dropping the SummerSlam moment if I could manage that. So there's that, right? But I don't know. I think most likely I'll probably grab Devil's Drip, Total Silence. Those 2 I think are for sure for me. And then probably SummerSlam moment and try to get a strap or 2. But again, I'll have to decide. Like all you guys, I try and make choices that are going to benefit my roster the most. And so I really dislike not having one of every plate. So if I don't have a plate, I try and prioritize that because you know what happens. They release a superstar, and if you're missing one of the required things, they just don't run nearly as well. And I feel like this is one they could easily design a card around, and it just won't hit without it. So I'm definitely getting this for sure, no matter what, on my prize wall, because I don't have it and I have all the other plates. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I hope you guys find that helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you end up choosing. Again, these are all just my opinions and my thoughts generally on Prizewall is take stuff that benefits your roster. Don't think short term, think long term. And no one knows your roster better than you. So if you think, man, Mherex said this, but it doesn't really fit for my roster, so should I do this? The answer is no, don't do it because I said it. If it fits your roster, go that route. And at the end of the day, these are just like suggestions and kind of broad suggestions without knowing the basics. And who knows, tomorrow, maybe they do something and all of a sudden there's Devil's Drips everywhere, Eat Plates everywhere, Chemical X's everywhere. You never know what they're going to do, right? Sometimes stuff that's been really rare won't be. A lot of people have gotten a lot of Eat Plates because it hasn't been rare. So if you're somebody that has like 4 or 5 Eat Plates, this is horrible value. But if you have none and you can snag one, okay, go get it, right? That's just an example. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always trying to get better at these videos. So any suggestions, comments, feedback that's constructive, I'd love to hear. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching and good luck out there. Another Prizewall video in the books. This one is going to be tough for me to decide what I end up taking all the way, right? Like, Prizewall choices are always tough.